Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another small block vehicle, and this one is a flying vehicle that should be more treated like a tank, and it's called the Tau Hammerhead, which you might recognise from Warhammer if you are into that type of thing. So what it is basically a giant hover tank with a railgun on top, a static railgun for you to blast your enemies with. We've got Gatling guns underneath it for some automated firepower, and it's powered by atmospheric thrusters to push you around while on the planet. We do have a teeny tiny interior, which is how we're going to get into our cockpit. We'll see that a bit later on. So pressing F10 and find this in the spawn menu, the Tau Hammerhead is 1,156 small blocks using no DLC packs and no mods. It does use some of the AI blocks on there, but they're not currently set up. So if you did want this to be a automated flying ship just to follow you around or guard your base, you do have the options to do that. Yes, we've got a nice lot of information about it, such as its PCU limit, as well as a version that comes with custom turrets, but for the moment we'll look at this one. So we'll give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, test it out for a bit, and then we'll end it on a very explosive note. So my character can now bugger off just a little bit, there we go. And this is what we get at the very front of the Tau Hammerhead Gunship. So at the very front, what we can see is our camera to fly this thing around and get a good view of what's going on. This is because our cockpit is stored internally to make sure it's nice and protected, so you don't get shot out in heavy gunfights. To the left there is a spotlight to light up the darkness, then on the very left and right hand side we can see our Gatling turrets, some automated firepower. Moving up just a bit we can see a bunch of lovely brown blocks that make up the main body of the ship, and it does suit the actual design this was trying to go for. Anyway, moving around onto the side, this is all we can see, so it's not going to be too much to talk about. There's the side of our Gatling gun underneath our wing, we can see our landing legs with our magnetic plate, there's some atmospheric thrusters for our left and right, then over to this section, this is one of two thruster pods, where once again, a bunch of atmospheric thrusters with a blast door edge just separating them in the middle. Move around onto the side, a few more atmospheric thrusters, then all around towards the very back of this thing, even more atmospheric thrusters. Then we've got our doorway to go inside, and this is a very tiny interior, then two containers. One is a reactor to jumpstart this thing, the other is a proper cargo container for you to store a few bits and bobs inside. Yes, pushing the camera all the way through, this is what I mean by a teeny tiny interior, and that is basically all it is. I'm actually surprised the light fit up there. But yes, that's our doorway into our cockpit, and that's how we're going to get in and out. Moving all the way up and looking down at this thing, that's all we can see. So we've got a couple blast edge blocks from decoration, a few atmospheric thrusters help move us down with a bit more speed. Then going along the top here, here's our top of our railgun, where we do have a camera to help precisely aim this thing. Once again, this is a static turret, so you will need to turn the entire ship to actually face your enemies. But there's our railgun on the inside, covered up by some armoured panels. And all the way over to here, we do have a window block with a camera sitting right behind it, so we can get a slightly elevated view from the camera right below it. Yes, looking at the turret on the top here from the side, that's all we can see. There's our camera on the front, and there's how it's been connected up. So yes, if you really wanted to, you could always disconnect this, attach on a rotor and a hinge. That's entirely up to you. It does work like this, being static, and does make it a bit more safer while driving around. And you don't have to worry about locking the hinges and all that, and risking damaging stuff if you do forget. But anyway, moving down underneath this thing, all the way down to here, that's all we can see. So there's the bottom of our Gatling turrets, there's our connector to dock this thing up, a hell of a lot of thrusters keep us off the ground, and there's our magnetic plate to land ourselves down on. And there we go. That's a brief look around the outside of the Tau Hammerhead Gunship, and it looks exactly as it should. So just grabbing hold of my character, what we can do now is just come into the little interior at the back here, and go through some of the controls. So all the way around, opening up this, and we can just about, with the jetpack, hop up and go inside. Closing the door behind me, it will not close up. I don't think I can actually even force this to close. That's how small this area is. But what we can do is hop into the cockpit, and then press number 6, close the door behind me. And there we go, this is all we can see in first person view, so it's going to be very dark in here, but we do have all the important stuff on our screens as well as our controls, which is very nice stuff. So yes, in first person view, we'll go through this. Number 1 is going for our camera right above our ship and below our gun, so we get a good view of what's going on. Number 2 is coming for the camera right below it near the ground. Number 3 is for our camera on the railgun. Number 4 is to select the railgun, fire it with our mouse. There we go. Number 6, as we saw, was the door at the back. Number 7 for our antenna, number 8 is for our connector underneath, and then number 9 is to lock and unlock our magnetic plates. Over to tab number 2, these are the controls we get. So we've got 2 simple controls to manually control our turrets underneath if we need to, and then 3, 4 and 5 it's for our AI blocks, in case you want this to be a drone, follow you around, protect you, or just go on a patrol pattern, make sure it's nice and safe from A to B. I mean, that all done and out of the way. We now drive this thing around, then we can move on to the explosive stuff. So moving forwards, this is what we get. We've got some nice speed thanks to all the thrusters at the back there. Coming to a stop, it feels just as fast, in fact it feels slightly faster than moving forwards, which is always nice. Moving left, and move right, surprising amount of speed with that, you don't really see that too often on ships. Usually this is the side that starts to fail and go really slow. There we are with that. Moving up, again some nice speed, and then moving down will be helped by gravity, and I am on the alien planet, so gravity is a bit heavier than normal, and we might be able to stop before we hit the ground. Yes, we did. And as for gyroscope controls, got plenty of control over this. It does feel a little bit wonky because the cockpit is at the back, very used to flying ships with the cockpit at the front. There you go, that's not an issue with this, all the way around it. So as for this ship, what can we do with it? I don't think there's any space pirates at any distance. This is simply a railgun on top for us to shoot, and we've got Gatling guns underneath it to shoot any kind of pesky drones, or any kind of land vehicle that fly underneath us and away from the gaze of the railgun. So what we are going to do to finish this off is to, well, destroy it, because this ship belongs to alien scum. And here we go, to finish off this video, because there's not too much else to talk about, is of course we're going to blow this up in the most Warhammerish way, and that is to blow it up using a thermal nuclear warhead. And there we go, I absolutely love this mod, god that was loud on the speakers, but it just blows up a gigantic area, zooming away from here, that's how big it is. If you were to go up into space, yes you can see that, and that is the end of the Tau Hammerhead Gunship. And well, what a poor little existence that thing had. Coming all the way down, let's see the hole it made. It might be a bit glitchy, because when I tested this out earlier, it did sort of send my character into space, or at least the third person camera into space, while keeping the first person camera on the planet. But I don't think that ship has survived, and we can now sort of see down into the void. Oh, there it is, now popped in. That's a big old hole, grabbing hold of my character. That's all that remains of this area. Oh, we did a showcase. And there we go, the free camera has now gone into space for whatever reason. And I think that is that, the Tau Hammerhead Gunship. It's a lovely ship with a nice sort of firepower on here, it's very easy to build, a nice sort of protection all the way around it, and should last you a nice long time in survival mode if you do want to have something themed around Warhammer. So there'll be a link to the description below if you do wish to download and play it out yourself, highly recommend you do, as well as the link to the mod that I was using to blow this thing up. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.